Good evening, friends. Summer's here. The time is right for doing some picking. I'm here to check in with you while I'm in the city and in range. Had a blast last week at Kaufman Camp, getting inspired and revived the way we do at those kind of events. Full immersion. So I'm at the house of my friend Carmel, who's letting me host the jam here. Thank you so much, Carmel, for allowing me to use your well-lit basement and your fast internet and your cool air conditioning. It is a hot day out there in Denver. I was sweating on my way over here. So I'm going to double check on the live streams and make sure we are up and running. Welcome to any of you who I met at camp last week and turned you on to this event. Okay, and it looks like we're live on Facebook. I'm going to adjust this setup just a tiny bit to get rid of that overhead light. Let's see if this improves it. And while we're checking that, I'll look on the YouTube channel. Yeah, that looks like it improved. And on YouTube, it looks like we are live. Okay, so this is the slow tempo jam. We're gonna keep things sort of, I don't tell you what the tempos are as we go. I don't want you to worry about that. I just want you to like feel the music and follow me. Of course, you all have metronomes at home. You can clock the tempos if you would like to. But I am all about just kind of showing you what's going on and playing the music and encouraging you not to think too much about those specifics for the time being. I still see that light in the overhead, so I'm going to do a little more adjustment. Don't mind me in your face for just a second here. But in the slow jam, we keep things between 70 and 95 beats per minute. So I'm going to pull up my metronome here, and we're going to get started on a good old Bill Monroe song called Walk Softly on This Heart of Mine. And this is a song that lives at a nice slow tempo. So it's appropriate for the slow jam. So here we go, opening up my metronome track, if I can find it. There it is. Okay, it's at 160. That's where we end up on the fast jam usually. But we're going to take it way down, and I'm just going to tell you, we're going to start at 72 on this one. Adjust that volume. Okay, so here's how it works. It's been a while for those of you who are regulars, and if you're new joining the group here, I just kind of coach you through it real quick as if we are at an actual jam. So it's not meant to necessarily be a lesson, but this is a wonderful resource for just getting quick insight into a song. And of course, you can use this resource to learn the song, of course. You can just keep coming back if you haven't played this song before and going over it until you know it, right? That's a good way to learn. When I was coming up and learning bluegrass, I would go to the jams and kind of just dive into the circle. I'd kind of be on the outside of the circle or in the circle playing kind of quiet and just make notes of what the songs were. Oh, cool, I like this song. I'm going to go home and learn this one and come back next week and be able to play it. So that's the idea. And so I'm going to give you a brief run through of how the song goes by ear, and then I will give you a demonstration of how I might kick it off, which means I'm playing an instrumental introduction to the song, the way you do when you're playing bluegrass. And then I'm going to count you in, and you're going to kick off the song, and we'll play back and forth. So presumably you're playing rhythm for me when I'm taking a break or a solo, and then I'm obviously playing rhythm for you most of the time, so you can play your kickoff and get your breaks in there, and hopefully you're also singing along. working on your harmonies and stuff. So this song goes in the key of G. 1 and 1 and a 1. 1 and 5 and a 1. 4 and 4 and a 1. 4 and a 5 and a 1. That's the whole song. And my kickoff would be kind of a version of that same little melody that I was singing while I was telling you the chord changes. And I might today think about it this way. 1, 2, 3. Notes in there. Okay, so let's get this thing started. Go ahead and kick us off on Walk Softly on This Heart of Mine in the key of G. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You say you're sorry once again, dear. You want me to take you back once more. Say you need a helping hand, dear. But that's what you told me once before. Walk softly on this heart of mine, love. Don't treat it mean and so unkind. Let it rest in peace and quiet, love. Walk softly on this heart of mine. I'm gonna play it. Soon you'll find a new love. I fear your heart has turned to stone. But please let me down real easy, for loneliness moves in as you move on. Walk softly on this heart of mine, love. Don't treat it mean and so unkind. Let it rest in peace and quiet, love. Walk softly on this heart of mine. Play it. Okay, so again, the little neck movement down means we're going to end the song like a foot kick at a regular jam. And if I do a little curly cue like that, that means we're going to tag it. So at the last moment there, I decided not to tag it, and we would just end the song, because that's how many of the songs end. Okay, well, looks like signal is looking good. Our videos are looking good. I see lots of folks there playing along. So let us know where you are, how you're doing, what you're playing, and maybe what your goals are, right? My goal on this, since I'm kind of coming in hot, as often happens on Monday, I figure I'm going to practice this whole time, so I don't prioritize my daily practice before. So I just want to get warmed up and play precisely and with intent. That's my goal tonight, to keep it simple and try to just play clean. All right, so I'll check in on everyone and give some shout outs here as we go. And this is a request, Blue Ridge Mountain Blues. I've never done this song before, but I went ahead and checked it out. I mean, I know the song, I'm familiar with it. So I have a little cheat sheet for the lyric here. And I don't remember who requested this. I never remember who requested them. So this is your opportunity to jump in and say, hey, I requested that one. And this song, I realized, was recorded first in 1924. This is an old song that's been recorded by many artists along the way. I sort of referenced the Bill Monroe version of this. And interestingly enough, his recording from 1963 on Decca Records is billed as Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Ramblers. Interesting. If anyone has any insight as to why they were called the Bluegrass Ramblers on that recording, let me know. As I've never seen a release under that name. It's always Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys. This is a cool song. It's very straight ahead. An interesting thing about it is that every chorus is different. So they all kind of start the same way, and then each one has a slightly different lyric. So I put these in the order that I got off the Monroe recording. So this song goes like this. The verse, here we're in the key of G, goes 1 and 1 and a 5, 5 and 5 back to 1, 1 and 1 and a 5, 5 and a 5 and a 1. Here's the chorus. And a 1 and 1 and 5, and a 5 and 5 and 1, and a 1 and 1 and a 4 and 4, and a 5 and 5 and 1. That would be how I would kick it off. Just hear that melody in my head. And we might go a little bit slower here. Yeah, it'll be a good bit slower than I was demonstrating. But basically the kickoff and the breaks are going to be over the verse, okay? So just 1 and 5. Good, simple song. And here we go. Go ahead and kick us off on Blue Ridge Mountain Blues in the key of G. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. When I sit and pine for all the folks I left behind. I've got those Blue Ridge Mountain blues, and I'll stand right here to say every day I'm counting till I find that mountain on that Blue Ridge far away. Here's my break. Now I see a window with a light. I see two heads of snowy white. It seems I hear them both recite, where is my wandering boy tonight? I've got those Blue Ridge Mountain blues, and I'll stand right here and say my grip is packed to travel, and I'm scratching gravel for that Blue Ridge far away. You play it. Well, I'm gonna stay right by my pa, and I'm gonna do right by my ma. I'll hang around that cabin door, no work or worry anymore. I've got them Blue Ridge Mountain blues, gonna see my old dog Trey, gonna hunt the possum where the corn tops blossom on that Blue Ridge far away. Okay. I think the songwriter is Cliff Hess. And the original artist, I don't remember. I think it was called Blue Ridge Blues, maybe. It's been recorded under two different titles, and it is very much in the spirit of these songs of the 1920s that were recorded by artists like Vernon Dalhart, Riley Puckett, Gid Tanner and the Skillet Lickers, artists of that era who were really playing on the sentiments of folks from down south who had relocated to the cities to work. And so there's this sentimental kind of nature of it. And who knows if this songwriter even, was from the South, or, maybe he was. A lot of you out there probably know a lot more about this than I do. But I've noticed that with a lot of these recordings of that era, same way sort of the Irish expats were being sold songs like Danny Boy and Mother Machree. These were kind of songs for these people who were displaced in the Irish people in the New World, and the folks from the South, working in factories or having to move to the cities to get jobs. And lots of the originators of bluegrass music, including Bill Monroe, were among these people. Monroe lived in Chicago for a long time, working in factories there. But anyhow, that is a cool song. It reminds me of the song that Robin Kessinger and I recorded, Blue Ridge Mountain. What is the name of the sorry? The one that we recorded on our Kanawha County Flat Picking album. Very similar, originally recorded by Vernon Dahlhart, and has that same kind of sentiment. I got lots of things running through my mind right now, including song lyrics, so I'm forgetting a few details. Hi, David Hulkamp. Nice to see you, my friend. Thanks for posting our set from Tico Time that you recorded. Jim Hanaway, nice to see you in person last week. We've been connecting on this platform for many years now, and we met at camp years ago, and nice to see you at camp again. Hello, John Keegan in Mainville, Ohio. Hope to see you at camp next year as well. Hello, Daniel McPartlin in Richmond, Virginia. Hello, Chantal in Nova Scotia. And hello, Ted Van Laar. Ondeboyo, you are in another country, speaking a different language. And very nice to see you here, Ted. Okay. And on YouTube, let's see, we got Sandy. Sandy in Bakersfield with the banjo, always first in line. Hi, Sandy, great to see you. Dave Schmidt in the Jersey Pines. Hey, Dodger Martin, one of the coolest names on YouTube. Blake Addison, nice to see you here. Thanks for jamming along. Drewan, that's your handle. Thanks for being here. And Ron Lipton in Indiana. Good goals. You're listing your goals. I like that. This came up at camp. We were talking with other instructors about how they present to their classes, because often we'll only see a group once or twice a week because the groups rotate through different instructors. And one of the instructors gave a great little insight that I hadn't really necessarily presented to any of my groups, is that, keep track of what your goals are here. And if you grab one tangible thing from each instructor, then you're doing well. I always try to give one tangible thing to each of my groups that they can take home. But I thought that was a good way to set it up and get that into people's minds who are learning. Okay, Joe Dalrymple from Maryland. Jeffrey Boyle. Joe's trying to improve the repertoire. Yeah, that's a great goal. I'm always trying to do that too, and here we are doing so with some new songs in the list. And Rob Irene in Delaware on the double bass, keeping the groove going. All right, love it. Okay, chime in if you haven't yet, and let's see what's next on the list. Miss McLeod's. Okay, so I put this in on purpose, even though it was on the last session also, because it's one of those tunes I teach in my Artist Works course. And we also went over this with some of my groups at Kaufman Camp, and it's in that little book for all you campers who are joining us here. So now you got a resource that you can practice with at a nice slow tempo. Those of you who are regulars, by now, I figure you probably know this one because we've done it quite a bit. It's one of my favorite fiddle tunes in G, and my guitar is getting accustomed to the air conditioning coming from the hot truck, which was driving through that Denver traffic. It's like 95 degrees out today. It's quite warm. And this is Old Red, my old Martin, my 53 Martin, and Old Red was really excited to get out into that Tennessee humidity last week. All right, here's Miss McLeod's. It goes in the key of G. In Arcata. Hello, Ava. Nice to have you join us. Okay, so Miss McLeod's. In the key of G. And a 1, and a 1, and a 1, and a 1. 1 and a 1, and a 5. And a 1, and a 1, and a 1, and a 1. 4, 4, and 5, and a 1. That's the A part. It happens twice, and the B part has the same chords, but the melody slightly, well, the melody is significantly different. 1, da, 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 5 and a 5, da, 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 4, 4 and a 5 and a 1, and that happens twice. It's an A, B, B fiddle tune, like most of them. Typical 16 measure fiddle tune, we call it. 2 A parts, 2 B parts. And I'm just increasing the tempo ever so slightly to kind of inch our way forward, but this is still a nice slow tempo. So in a lot of my instruction, I like to give people tools for learning melodies by ear and having the major scale as your framework to do so, and to practice that major scale in your head all the time, and practice singing notes of the major scale while you're doing other things, if you're in the shower, if you're doing dishes, if you're out on a hike. And if you can start like actually singing these fiddle tunes, then you know they're in your head, and then you can play what you're conceiving in your own mind, and your fingers aren't getting ahead of you. That is my goal here. And sometimes it sounds goofy to hear someone sing, da, 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 but that proves that they know the melody, right? So I want you all to know these melodies and know the tunes and internalize them to where you can actually sort of like, whether you're a singer or not, you can sort of sing a version of it, or at least reproduce a version of it in your own concept, and not necessarily rely on your fingers to play the tune. Because if you know it in your mind, your fingers are going to know where to go that much better, and you can practice away from your instrument. Okay, enough of my rambling. I'm going to kick us off on Miss McLeod's reel, and we're going to play twice through. So I'm going to kick it off, and I'm going to play taters to count you in. Always strum after 4 taters. Come in with the rhythm after 4 taters, because you never know where the leader is going to start. They might start after 4 taters, they might start after 8. So I always start strumming after 4, because if you start strumming and the taters are still going, it sounds cool. So I'll kick it off all the way through 2 A's, 2 B's, then you'll play it all the way through, then I'll play it all the way through again, then you play it all the way through again, and then you tag it, okay? So twice through the entire tune, and I'm kicking us off here on Miss McLeod's reel in the key of G. Okay, love it. That's better. Okay, great. That's our first instrumental of the list here. Now we're moving on to a good old Stanley Brothers number in the key of A. Little Willie. I think we do Little Maggie later, maybe in the mid-tempo jam coming up. But this one I like because it's a nice little modal song. Gets you working your 1 and flat 7 chords. And it's just a good old spooky, old-timey kind of vibe. And it's a good one for slow and mid-tempos. Hello, Gilly R, joining us in Thunder Bay, Canada on the fiddle. Great to have some fiddle players in the mix. And back here on Facebook, Glenn Z. Reynolds III asks, what makes a song a reel? A reel is a type of a dance in Irish music. So there's jigs, which are in like 6/8, and reels are in 4/4. Anthony Jacobs, hello from Kalamazoo. Yes, there is a Kalamazoo. Ted Van Laar and Amy Lynch in Richmond. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to do Little Willie in A. Let me find a tempo. Just inching we're not even up to 80 beats per minute yet. I'm just kind of inching our way up with each song. Because as we get comfortable with these slow tempos, we want to be able to move forward and be able to play at mid and ultimately fast tempo bluegrass. Even if you're playing something simple, even if you're just strumming a good solid rhythm or playing a very simple sort of melody. Bluegrass music goes by in all tempos. And one of our goals in the long term is to keep increasing that tempo that we're able to play. So this song has a 1 chord and a flat 7 chord. So in my capo position here, I'm capo 2 playing G position, so those are G and F. The actual concert pitches are A and G. So those of you playing mandolin, fiddle, etc., and bass are playing an A chord and a G chord, and I call them the 1 and the flat 7. So this song goes, and a 1 and a flat 7, and a 1 and a 5 and a 1, and a 1 and a flat 7, and a 1 and a 5 and 1. So I'll put the actual metronome on here before I demonstrate my kickoff, and it might go like this. 1, 2, 3. Something simple like that. If you're a banjo player, you've got some options there, some nice options with a good solid roll, and of course the fiddle, you can really milk this one. Nice, simple melody. Here we go, Little Willie in the key of A. And you're going to kick us off. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. When I was in You led me far away from home. How can you leave me here? I'll play and then you. It's nature for to be. My mind is to ramble around, and I bid this wide world adieu. Okay, trippy song. Song of deceit. That young man deceived that young woman. Left her out in the middle of nowhere. Definitely some type of morality play there. A lot of these songs are like that, drawing on emotions of attachment, of trust, and the betrayal of trust. That's a common theme in bluegrass, country, old-time music, etc. So now we're going to do a fiddle tune, which I believe comes from Howdy Forester as the source, but I'm not 100% sure. This is called Cherokee Shuffle. Figured we'd do this while we're in the key of A, those of us who are capoed. And let's just inch our tempo up a tiny bit. Okay, so this one goes. 1, 1, 1 and 1, 1, 6 minor, 4, 4 and 1 and a 1, 1 and a 5 and a 1, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 6 minor, 4 and a 1 and 1, 5 and 5 and a 1. So 1, 5, 1 or 5, 5, 1. I don't know. I think I'm going to go straight to the 5. This is sometimes a decision to make in the fiddle tunes, and it kind of just depends on the source recording or depends on who's leading the jam. So I think 4, 4 and 1 and a 1, 5 and a 5 and a 1. I'll try to remember to do it that way, going straight to the 5. The B part goes 4, 4 and 1 and a 1 and a 4 and a 4 and a 1, 4 and a 4 and a 1 and a 1, 1, 6 minor, 5 and a 1, 4 and a 4 and 1 and a 1, 4 and a 4 and 1, 4 and a 4 and 1 and a 1, 1, 6 minor, 4 and, sorry, I didn't mean to go for 5 and a 5 and a 1. I'm catching myself along the way. So we'll go straight to the 5 on each of those turnarounds, meaning the last phrase of the tune. Okay, and I'm going to kick it off, and let's go twice through Cherokee Shuffle. Here we go. Fun. Cherokee Shuffle. That's a very majory melody. It's got the minor chord in there, so it's easy to stick to diatonic scales. But I was trying to throw in a few bluesy notes along the way, because that does work over this tune, and it does kind of spice it up in a neat way. Cool. Hi, Gary Beckwith from Auburn, California. We got lots of folks picking along tonight. Wonderful. Hello, Drew, camping on Grand Mesa. All right, tuning in from the great outdoors. I love that. Hi, Sage Helperman. Okay, we got a few more here on the list. Somebody Loves You, Darlin. Now, I heard Don Rigsby and Dan Boner sing this one at the concert with Josh Goforth at camp, a good bluegrass group of instructors, and thought, hey, haven't done that song at the jam yet. So I kind of drew my source from a combination of a Ralph Stanley recording and the Red Allen and Frank Wakefield version. So this is kind of a bit of a bridge between those two versions. But I guess I'm leaning on that Ralph Stanley version for the actual melody. But it's a waltz, and I'm going to be in the key of F. So this will be a fine tempo. So this is going to be 1 click per beat. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this song goes, slow that down just a tiny bit. 1 and a 1 and 5, 4 and 5 and 1, 1 and a 1 and 5, 4 and 5 and 1. Kick off would go something like. Very simple melody, a good opportunity for cross-picking for you guitar players, double stops for you fiddle players, simple roll for you banjo players, and some tremolo picking with double stops for you mandolin players. Anyway, kick it off however you want, and here we go. We're going to play Somebody Loves You, Darlin. And I have a cheat sheet for this one too. Here we go. So kick us off here in the key of F. 1, 2, 3, go. Here's the chorus. Somebody loves you, darling. Somebody loves you, I know. Somebody loves you dearly. Why did you let them go? Now somebody's tall and handsome. Somebody's eyes are blue. Somebody's hair is curly. Somebody's love still true. Somebody loves you, darling. Somebody loves you, I know. Somebody loves you dearly. Why did you let them go? Here's my break. Now somebody came to see me. Somebody came last night. Somebody asked me to marry. And of course I said alright. Somebody loves you, darling. Somebody loves you, I know. There's going to be a wedding. It's going to be this fall. So boys and girls, get ready. I'm gonna invite you all. Last chorus. Somebody loves you, darling. Somebody loves you, I know. Somebody loves you dearly. Why did you let them go? Okay. Nice one. Just a pretty song. So if you have a trio or a duet vocal, that would be a fun one to really hone in those harmonies. Okay, 2 more songs here on the slow jam, and then we will take a brief pause and come back for the mid-tempo. And this is going to be Way Downtown in the key of E. One that I actually am not that familiar with the source of this. I haven't dug much deeper than the Doc Watson version. Because that's kind of all you really need, right? Of course, there's lots of other good renditions of this, and it's very simple, 4-1-5-1. So in the key of E, it's 4, 4, 1, and 1, 5, 5, and a 1. 4, 4, and 1, and 1, 5, and 5, and a 1. My kickoff might go. Never a pause on the 1 chord. It always rolls right back to the 4 chord, whether the singer is ready or not. It's like in baseball. If you're covering your, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you'll throw the ball, whether that base is covered or not. Stick to the fundamentals, right? So I'm going to inch this a little bit further up. Okay. All right, so here we go. Way Downtown in the key of E. Go ahead and kick us off to that 4 chord. A 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Way downtown, fooling around, took me to the jail. Oh, me and it's all mine, ain't no one to go my bail. Late last night when Willie came home, I heard him rapping at the door. Slipping and a sliding with his new shoes on. Papa says, Willie, don't you rap no more. Way downtown, fooling around, took me to the jail. Oh, me and it's all mine, ain't no one to go my bail. I'm gonna play. Wish I was down at my sweet Sally's house, just sitting in that old rocking chair, with one arm around this old guitar and the other one around my dear. Way downtown, fooling around, took me to the jail. Oh, me and it's all mine, ain't no one to go my bail. Play it. This old shirt is all that I own, and $1 is all that I crave, 'cause I ain't brought nothing with me into this old world, ain't gonna take nothing to my grave. Way downtown, fooling around, took me to the jail. Oh, me and it's all mine, ain't no one to go my bail. I'll play it, then you play after me. I love those hills of West Virginia, I love those hills of Tennessee. North, south, east, or west, it's all home, sweet home to me. Way downtown, fooling around, took me to the jail. Oh, me and it's all mine, ain't no one to go my bail. Cool. Thanks for putting up with my little fills. I know you're probably filling a little bit on your own, but I like to practice those the way Doc will do, where he'll sing a verse or sing a line and then answer himself with a little fill. And Doc was just the master at doing that. And it's good practice for the rest of us. Okay, last song is When My Blue Moon Turns to Gold Again. And again, I'm sort of like leaning on the Bill Monroe version of this, because this is a song that lots of folks have done. And this is going to be a nice way to close it out in the key of B. And I'll check my tuning, make sure we're in here. So, public service announcements. As always, I appreciate the donations. It's not required, but it sure helps me to keep these going, so thank you for pitching in. And let's see, Augusta Bluegrass Week is my next in-person workshop. It'll be my only other in-person workshop of the summer. And that is third week of July, I believe. There's a link on my website, and you can just Google Augusta Bluegrass Week to sign up if you're not signed up already. That's one that I would encourage you all to go to if you haven't been yet. Many of you here on the chat and who are playing along are folks who I met at Augusta Bluegrass Week and folks I know through that program. And it is just a magical, magical time. It was my first teaching camp I ever did back in 2005. And it is a program that has been around for over 40 years. And you're just soaking up the old-time music that's ringing from the West Virginia hills. And it's just an amazing time. So join us at Augusta Bluegrass Week. Join me on Artist Works Flat Picking Academy. All you guitar players, we can do video exchanges. We can learn and grow together with that wonderful community on Artist Works. And I'm very proud of the course I put together. It's very well organized, very clear stepping stones to progressing in your flat picking from a beginner level all the way up through all the way up until, you know, however far you want to take it, right? We branch out quite a bit at the end of that course. Ron Lipton says, first went to Augusta in 1984. That is really cool. And hello, Hayes Griffin. We sure had a good time together at camp. My new flat picking friend and a whiz on the guitar and mandolin. And thanks, Hayes, for jamming with me and being a good sweet mate. We shared a coffee maker and we had a good old time at Kaufman Camp. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay, here we go. When my blue moon turns to gold again in the key of B. And then I'm going to shut this down and come right back at quarter till for the mid-tempo jam. So y'all come on back and let's keep working together. So this song in the key of B goes 1 and 1 and a 5. 5 and 5 and a 1. 1 and 1 and a 5. And a 4 and a 5 and a 1. That would be an example of a decent kickoff. So go ahead and kick us off on When My Blue Moon Turns to Gold Again in the key of B. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Memories that linger in my heart, memories that make my heart grow cold. But someday they'll live again, sweetheart, when my blue moon again will turn to gold. When my blue moon turns to gold again, when the rainbow turns the clouds away. When my blue moon turns to gold again, you'll be back within my arms to stay. I got it. So your kisses were meant for only me. In my dreams they'll live again, sweetheart, but my golden moon is just a memory. When my blue moon turns to gold again, when the rainbow turns the clouds away, when my blue moon turns to gold again, you'll be back within my arms to stay. Play it. moon turns the clouds away. When my blue moon turns to gold again, you'll be back within my arms to stay. You'll be back within my arms to stay. Good times here at the Slow Jam. Thanks everybody. I'm feeling good and warmed up. And let's move on to the mid-tempo, and I will see you there on a new thread. You'll see a new video pop up in about 3 minutes. Okay, see you there. Thanks everybody.